Curses, whether spoken, written, or ritually enacted, are expressions intended to invoke misfortune or spiritual harm, and their presence spans across the breadth of human history and civilization. In ancient Mesopotamia, tablets bearing inscriptions of curses were frequently buried in foundations of buildings or near city gates, designed to ward off enemies or punish wrongdoers, and were often addressed to deities such as Enlil-Nergal. In ancient Egypt, tomb curses inscribed in hieroglyphics served as spiritual deterrents to grave robbers, invoking the wrath of gods like Anubis or Osiris to ensure eternal protection of the deceased. These warnings are evident in the pyramid texts of the 5th and 6th dynasties, where desecration was believed to disturb cosmic order art. In medieval Europe, with the rise of Christianity and church dominance, curses became closely associated with heresy and witchcraft. Grimoires and ecclesiastical texts detail how curses were often countered with holy relics, scripture or exorcisms, charms and amulets made from silver herbs like vervain, or symbols like the pentagram were used defensively. Meanwhile, in African traditional religions such as those among the Yoruba and Ashanti peoples, curses form part of a structured belief system involving divine justice, often mediated through orishas, spiritual beings or ancestral spirits. These were not random acts but morally guided interventions. The Caribbean syncretic practices, most notably Haitian Vodou and Hoodoo from the southern United States, developed during colonial times through the fusion of West African spirituality, indigenous ritual, and Catholic iconography. Curse rituals may involve symbolic objects such as wax or cloth dolls, personal effects, graveyard dirt, and ritual chants, crafted to direct spiritual force toward a target. Far from mere superstition, these traditions evolved as responses to social injustice, survival, and empowerment under oppression. At their core, curses represent the belief that words and intentions possess intrinsic power, an idea reflected in global oral traditions and magical thinking. Anthropologists argue that language-based rituals often serve social and psychological functions, with curses enforcing moral or communal boundaries. The power of the spoken word is not limited to folklore. Religious texts, including the Bible and Quran, contain numerous references to blessings and curses as divine tools. In contemporary settings, this belief manifests in pop culture phenomena, from jinxing someone during sports games to widespread caution around using someone's full name in ritualistic fashion. The enduring presence of these practices underscores how language is deeply entwined with notions of fate and protection. Among the most enduring legends are curses said to afflict individuals, places, or objects. The so-called Curse of Tutankhamun gained global attention in 1922 after several individuals associated with the tomb's excavation, including Lord Carnarvon, died unexpectedly, fueling rumors of supernatural retribution despite medical evidence suggesting bacterial infections. The Hope Diamond, a striking blue gem of Indian origin, has long been alleged to bring tragedy to its owners. Several prominent figures connected to the diamond reportedly suffered untimely deaths or financial ruin. In American history, the Kennedy family has been described as cursed due to a string of assassinations, accidents, and scandals affecting its members across generations. Likewise, the Poltergeist is a modern pop culture example arising after multiple actors in the film franchise died prematurely, with some attributing the phenomenon to the use of real skeletons in filming. While skepticism abounds, these stories illustrate the human tendency to impose narrative structure on tragedy. Scientific inquiry offers several frameworks to explain the phenomena of curses without invoking the supernatural. One of the most recognized is the nocebo, effect, wherein the expectation of harm leads to tangible symptoms such as headaches, nausea, or malaise, even in the absence of physical causes. This effect has been documented in clinical trials and underscores the profound influence of belief on bodily processes. Psychological mechanisms like confirmation bias further reinforce belief in curses, as individuals selectively recall misfortunes while disregarding neutral or positive outcomes. Moreover, stress induced by fear of being cursed can disrupt hormonal balances, weaken the immune system, and impair judgment, ultimately creating a self-fulfilling prophecy. Researchers in neuropsychology and behavioral science continue to examine how social context, suggestion. In esoteric traditions, curses are viewed not as superstitions but as deliberate energy constructs. Practitioners in traditions ranging from Wicca to Santeria believe that focused intention, ritual tools, and spiritual alignment can direct metaphysical forces. Binding spells. Poppets as adult representations, hex bags, and graveyard materials are often employed in ritual settings designed to channel negative energy toward a subject. These practices are governed by specific protocols such as lunar phases, sacred herbs, and protective symbols to enhance efficacy. Critics argue these rituals lack empirical basis, but practitioners report measurable shifts in emotional, social, and even physical domains following such interventions. Furthermore, accounts from ritual leaders and shamans often describe curses as part of broader spiritual warfare between forces of protection and harm. From the perspective of occult practitioners, curses represent ritualized metaphysical warfare. Breaking a curse often requires elaborate counter-rituals, spiritual cleansings, or interventions by experienced shamans or witches. Tools such as egg divination, salt circles, and smoke cleansing with sage or palo santo are believed to disrupt the energetic bindings of a curse. In some traditions, invoking protective deities or ancestors serves as a shield against malevolent forces. Paranormal investigators have documented anecdotal accounts of improved health, emotional relief, or reversal of bad fortune following such rituals. Though lacking in peer-reviewed evidence, these beliefs offer a framework for understanding misfortune through a spiritual rather than empirical lens. Whether understood through the lens of psychology, cultural anthropology, or the paranormal, curses reflect the profound human conviction that intention shapes reality. They tap into fundamental fears about control, justice, and unseen forces. In a technologically advanced society, the persistence of curse-related beliefs speaks to the enduring role of ritual, story, and symbolism in shaping human experience. As science continues to unravel the mysteries of the mind and body, the metaphysical aspects of curses remind us that belief itself, whether justified or not, can exert powerful influence over behavior, health, and perception.